Welcome to Nightmare True Horror. Tonight, 7 true social media horror stories. Stories that didn't go viral. Until someone vanished. Until a comment turned into a curse. Until the algorithm decided who gets remembered. And who gets erased. Watch to the end. Because the last story is still unfolding. Right now. Comment if one of these hits too close to home. And subscribe before someone turns your story into content. The broken bathroom light flickered as I stared at my face in the mirror. Tears making mascara run down my cheeks in dark rivers. Alex had dumped me after 3 years. 3 years. With a text message. A goddamn text. I raised my phone, captured my grief in a photo, and posted it with the caption. Sometimes the people you trust the most break you the hardest. Heartbroken. I wasn't fishing for sympathy. Maybe I just wanted someone to witness my pain. Within minutes, comments appeared. Most were generic heart emojis or stay strong platitudes. But one stood out. A comment from @FixerNacy, you deserve better. People who hurt you should feel consequences. Then came the direct message from the same account. I'll fix it for you. Just 5 words from a stranger. I assumed it was someone offering comfort and replied with a simple thanks before tossing my phone aside, unaware that those words would unravel my entire life. 3 days later, Alex called, his voice trembling. Melissa, did you send someone after me? What? No. What are you talking about? Someone trashed my car. They left a note. She deserves better. Who did you tell about us? My stomach twisted as I remembered the Ferrari keychain Alex had proudly shown me last summer at Coney Island. The day he'd won it at a carnival game, and declared it was practice for when he could afford the real thing. The memory made his betrayal cut deeper. No one who would do that, Alex, I swear. After hanging up, I remembered the DM. When I checked my messages, @FixerNace's profile had vanished. My apartment felt different that night. The shadows darker, the silence heavier. A faint musty smell lingered in the hallway, like someone else's cologne. I placed a strand of clear tape across my front door frame before bed. A trick my dad, a former security consultant, had taught me. Low tech but effective, he'd said. At work the next morning, a gift basket waited on my desk. Expensive chocolates, wine, and a small envelope. Inside was a card with a perfect replica of my crying selfie printed on it. Except someone had digitally wiped away my tears. Beneath the image, first step complete, pain removed from subject A moving to subject M, my coworker. Jess peered over my shoulder. Secret admirer? I showed her the basket but hid the card. Something like that. Jess squeezed my shoulder. You deserve someone who treats you right. The same phrase from the comment. My skin crawled. Jess noticed my discomfort. Hey, you okay? Want to grab lunch? I studied her face. The same face that had shown up at my door last year with pizza and wine when I'd been laid off from my previous job. She'd stayed up all night watching terrible movies with me, promising things would get better. What would I do without you? I'd asked her then. I'm fine, just not hungry, I lied. The basket went directly into the trash. I spent my lunch break combing through my social media, tightening privacy settings, blocking unknown followers. That night, Jess called. Did you hear about Alex? Someone posted screenshots of his dating app messages to his company Slack. He admitted he was two-timing you. Everyone's calling him a cheater. The room suddenly felt cold. I didn't do that. Well, whoever did it was looking out for you. You dodged a bullet, girl? Her voice sounded different. Guilty? I remembered how she'd canceled plans 3 times when I wanted to discuss my concerns about Alex's late nights. Jess, did something happen between you and Alex? The silence stretched too long. It was once, she finally whispered. Last Christmas, at the office party. You were visiting your parents. I was drunk. He was there. And I've wanted to tell you so many times. The betrayal hit like a physical blow. The memory of Alex on New Year's Eve surfaced. Us watching fireworks from Brooklyn Bridge Park. His arms around me as he whispered, this year is ours. I promise I'll never let you down. All lies. I hung up without another word. I couldn't sleep. The broken heart had been replaced by something worse. Fear. Someone was inserting themselves into my life, dismantling it piece by piece under the guise of helping me. A week passed. Strange things kept happening. A week passed. People who'd wronged me in minor ways. The barista who'd once been rude. A client who'd criticized my work. Started apologizing, mentioning reconsiderations of their behavior. Then came the flowers at my door with another note, making progress. Your world is being recalibrated. The tape across my doorframe had been broken and carefully replaced. I went to the police. They took my statement, but without direct threats. They could only file a report. Be vigilant, they said. Document everything. I installed a security camera at my door that night. At 3:17 a.m. it captured a figure leaving another envelope. The footage was too dark to see a face. The note inside read, "Watching you sleep. Your breathing is peaceful now. No more tears." He'd been in my apartment. I suddenly remembered the locksmith who'd changed my locks 6 months ago when I'd lost my keys. He'd been oddly chatty, asking personal questions about my living situation. Had he made copies? I moved into a hotel the next day. Told no one where. Changed my number. Took a week off work. But when I arrived at my office the following Monday, heart racing as I stepped off the elevator, he was waiting. He was waiting. A man I'd never seen before leaned against my desk, dressed neatly in a button-up shirt and slacks. He could have been anyone. A new colleague, a client, except for the knife he casually twirled in one hand and the envelope in the other. "Melissa," he said, smiling as if we were old friends. "You're hard to help when you run." The office was nearly empty. Just Jess at her desk, headphones on, unaware. Above us, a fluorescent light flickered erratically, casting strange shadows across his face. "Who are you?" My voice was barely a whisper. "Eric, the fixer." He set the knife down and held out the envelope. "I've been working on your case for weeks. You need to see the progress report." My hands shook as I took it. Inside were photos of Alex's vandalized car, screenshots of his exposed messages, images of me sleeping, entering my hotel, at the police station, and a list titled "Remaining Obstacles to Melissa's Happiness." Jess's name was at the top. "A toxic friendship. Validates self-destructive behaviors. She's my best friend," I whispered. "She slept with Alex last Christmas," Eric replied calmly. "That information is on page 2. I'm very thorough. How did you get into my apartment?" I demanded, trying to keep my voice steady. "I was the locksmith you called in April. Sullivan Security Solutions, remember? You were so distressed about losing your keys, so vulnerable." His smile widened. "I've worked in every building in this neighborhood. People trust me with their security." A scream built in my throat, but he pressed a finger to his lips. "I'm not finished fixing things yet. Don't make me improvise." He left as casually as he'd arrived. I collapsed at my desk, hands shaking so badly I could barely dial 911. The police took him seriously this time. They stationed a patrol car outside my building, filed restraining orders, advised me to stay with friends. "You can stay with me," Jess offered, tears in her eyes. "I know I don't deserve your forgiveness, but please, let me try to make things right." I declined. I couldn't trust anyone anymore. 2 weeks passed. Nothing. The police suggested he'd moved on. I returned to my apartment, jumping at every noise. Each night, I lined my windowsills with empty bottles, makeshift alarms if disturbed. I stopped checking locks obsessively. Instead, I wedged a chair under every doorknob. For my birthday, Jess organized a small party at my place despite my protests. "You need this," she insisted. "Time with people who care about you. Normalcy." It felt strange, being surrounded by people again after weeks of isolation. Wine flowed. Stories were shared. Laughter pushed the fear away momentarily. I noticed how everyone seemed slightly distant, though, as if my paranoia had created an invisible barrier between us. When someone suggested a toast to new beginnings, everyone raised their glasses. Everyone clapped, then left. I was alone in the house. The door clicked shut, and I heard it. The distinct sound of a key turning in the lock from the outside. "Now the real game begins," whispered a voice from the hallway closet. I froze, wine glass slipping from my fingers, shattering on the floor. Eric stepped out, so casual in his movements as if he belonged there. "Don't look so scared, Melissa. I'm here to finish what I started." He held a knife. The same one from my office. "They were never your real friends. Did you notice how quickly they left? The drowsiness they blamed on the wine." He smiled. "Mild sedative. They won't remember much tomorrow." "How did you get in?" My voice sounded distant, foreign. "I've had keys for months." I've watched you cry yourself to sleep 43 times. I've stood over your bed, making sure you're breathing when the nightmares come. I've been fixing you all along. I've been fixing you all along. My phone was in my pocket. If I could just... Looking for this. He held up my phone. I took the liberty while you were playing hostess. We can't have interruptions during the final phase. He moved toward the front door, testing the lock. We're sealed in now. Just us. The room spun. Why me? Because you asked. He pulled out his phone, showing me my crying selfie. This is what broke me. Your pain. So raw, so familiar. My sister looked the same way before she killed herself. No one fixed her. I promised I'd never let that happen to anyone else. He moved closer, reaching out to stroke my cheek with ice-cold fingers. I've eliminated the obstacles. Your cheating boyfriend. Your disloyal friend. Yes. Jess won't be waking up tomorrow. That wine was special. The co-workers who whispered about you. You poisoned Jess, I whispered, horrified. I fixed her for you, like I tried to fix Caitlin last year. His eyes darkened. She was like you, posting her pain online, begging for someone to notice. I noticed. I helped. But she called the police when I showed her my progress report. He touched the knife handle. I had to leave town before I could complete her process. A car horn blared outside. Eric twitched, annoyed by the interruption. That split second was all I needed. I lunged for the broken wine glass on the floor, grasped a large shard, and slashed wildly. The edge caught his face, opening a line of red from temple to jaw. He didn't scream, didn't flinch, just touched the wound with curious fingers before looking at the blood. I'm trying to help you. I never asked for this. I backed toward the door, glass shard extended. You did. His voice soft, reasonable. Everyone who posts their pain is asking someone to notice, to care, to fix it. He stepped forward, blood dripping onto his crisp white shirt. I'm just the only one who actually does something. As he reached for me, I saw myself reflected in his eyes. Not as I was, but as someone broken, someone needing to be fixed. And I understood the true horror, his sincerity. He genuinely believed he was saving me. The doorbell rang. Eric froze. Police. Miss Walker, are you in there? Eric lunged toward me, knife raised. They can't help you like I can. If you really want to fix me, I whispered, let me go. For a moment, humanity flickered across his blood-streaked face. Then it vanished. No one else will ever try this hard for you, he hissed, slashing the knife through the air between us. A crash as the door splintered open. Officers pouring in. Eric tackled to the ground, the knife skittering across the floor. Later, they found Jess unconscious but alive. They pumped her stomach at the hospital while I sat in the waiting room, torn between relief and lingering betrayal. The detective explained that Eric Sullivan, 34, had a history of psychiatric issues. 3 other women had restraining orders against him. One, Caitlin, had disappeared last year. He fixates on vulnerable women online, the detective explained. Usually after emotional posts, he sees himself as their protector, their fixer. He worked as a locksmith, I said numbly. Yes. Gave him access to countless apartments. We'll be investigating all his clients. I deleted all my social media accounts that night. Changed my locks, this time with a company the police recommended. Changed my number. My job. I couldn't bring myself to visit Jess in the hospital. Her betrayal with Alex still stung. But the thought of Eric targeting her because of me was worse. When she called weeks later, I listened to her tearful apology but couldn't find words to respond. Sometimes I still feel Eric watching, waiting to finish fixing me. The creak of floorboards at night sends me into panic attacks. The musty smell that sometimes wafts through my apartment makes me check every closet, every corner. My therapist says this hypervigilance is normal. Trauma changes your brain chemistry, creates new fears. But yesterday, I received a letter with no return address. Inside was a familiar image, my crying selfie, with the tears wiped away, and 5 words that made my blood freeze. I'll finish fixing you soon. The afternoon Florida sun cast long shadows across my apartment's worn hardwood floors. My fingers trembled as I scrolled through my phone. unable to escape the phantom touch of being watched. Instagram used to be my lifeline. Now it felt like a loaded weapon. I'd stopped going to Sunrise Coffee, my favorite spot for the past 3 years. The barista who knew my order by heart. The corner table where I'd spent countless mornings planning my marketing campaigns. All abandoned. Too exposed. Too vulnerable. The notification pinged softly, almost innocently, against the sunlight streaming through Venetian blinds. Just another close friend story update. Nothing special. Except this time, something felt different. My finger hovered over the screen. A screenshot. My own private story, but not from Instagram. From an account named it You'll Regret This. Every detail was there. The selfie from my bedroom. The location tag from my now abandoned coffee shop. The text about my upcoming job interview at a Miami marketing firm. Information I'd shared with only 5 people. 5. I counted them again. Rachel, Jake, my sister Emma, Carlos from work, and Michael, my boyfriend of 8 months. The memory of Rachel's baby shower flashed. How we'd laughed. How close we'd been. She'd held my hand through my worst breakup 2 years ago, promising I'll always have your back. Now her voice sounded distant, guarded. Did you screenshot my story? I'd asked her. What? No. A rustle of papers in the background. Something felt off. The screenshot came with a message. Nice secrets. Want to see what else I know? Carlos, my cybersecurity consultant friend, leaned forward when I showed him the screenshots. His fingers flew across his keyboard, tracing digital footprints. This isn't random, he muttered. Someone used a sophisticated spyware, probably embedded through a malicious link in a direct message. One of your close friends clicked something they shouldn't have. Michael's explanation was less technical but more unsettling. The night I showed him the screenshots, he'd gone quiet. Then, remember when we first met? At that marketing conference, I told you how I'd been stalked in college, how someone hacked my entire digital life. His eyes held something, a darkness I'd never noticed before. The screenshots grew more intimate. A view from my bedroom window, my car's license plate, the exact route I took to work each morning. Then came the phone call. I was alone in my apartment when it happened. The number was blocked. But the voice, God, the voice was familiar. Having fun with your close friends. The caller knew details, intimate details, about my job, my fears, my secrets. I recognized the cadence, the slight Florida drawl. It was Jake. My hands went cold. Jake, who'd been my closest friend since college, who knew everything about me, who'd helped me move, who had access to my passwords, my backup drives. The flowers arrived the next morning. A single white rose. No card. Just a note pinned to its stem. Watching isn't the same as knowing. Emma suggested I go to the police, but Miami PD seemed unimpressed. Lots of online stalking these days, the detective said, not looking up from his computer. Unless there's a direct threat, our hands are tied. My therapist explained the symptoms. Hypervigilance, constant checking of locks, avoiding social spaces. Classic post-stalking trauma, she said gently. But I knew this was different. This wasn't just watching. The final screenshot would arrive soon. And when it did, I knew my entire life would unravel. Piece by piece. Screenshot by screenshot. The game was just beginning, and I was losing before I even understood the rules. My phone buzzed. You'll regret this was typing. The kitchen light buzzed, casting jagged shadows on the counter where my latest Amazon package sat, tape peeling like dead skin. I'd filmed my haul video that morning. Earbuds, a red scarf, a smartwatch. For my 20,000 YouTube subscribers. Reynos desert heat pressed against the windows. But my apartment felt colder, the air thick with a faint metallic tang. My phone pinged. An email. Subject: nice haul, Mara. Attached were photos, every item I'd unboxed, arranged on my coffee table inside my living room. My breath caught. The earbuds gleamed beside the scarf, the smartwatch's screen dark. One photo showed a journal I hadn't opened, its leather cover still shrink-wrapped. I lived alone, and my terrier, Milo, was asleep on the couch. The floor groaned as I stepped back, my pulse hammering. My one-bedroom apartment was a fortress of deadbolts and chain locks. The Nevada sun bleaching the sagebrush outside. I checked every window. The balcony door. Secure. Milo stirred, his ears twitching toward the hallway. My phone pinged again. Subject, look again. Another photo. The journal unwrapped, open to a blank page, a pen resting beside it. My hands trembled. I hadn't touched it. The pen was mine, from a drawer I rarely opened. I called Jess, my oldest friend, who'd held my phone when I filmed my first shaky YouTube video 3 years ago. Her voice was warm but strained, her barista shift running late. Mara, it's probably a troll. Your fans get creepy. I wanted to trust her, but the photos knew too much. My couch frayed seam, the chip in my table. Jess promised to swing by. After we hung up, Milo growled, low and guttural, staring at the bedroom door. A faint scrape echoed, like a boot scuffing wood. I grabbed a knife, its blade cold against my palm, and crept down the hall. The door was cracked open, the room dark. My bed was empty, but the air smelled wrong. Sweat and cheap cologne. On my pillow lay a single photo. Me? Asleep? My hair fanned out. Taken last night. My knees buckled. The photo's angle was high, as if shot from the ceiling. I tore through the apartment. Closets, under the bed. Nothing. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Zoom in. I did. In the photo's corner, a shadow loomed. Tall, blurred, watching. Milo barked at the balcony, where the blinds swayed despite the still air. I dialed 911, whispering my address to the operator, who urged me to stay calm. Officers are en route. A soft click came from the kitchen. The lights dimmed, then steadied. Crouched behind the couch, I clutched Milo, his fur damp with fear. A low hum filled the apartment like a distant motor, pulsing in time with my heartbeat. My phone lit up. Subject, you're never alone. A video file. My finger hovered, then pressed play. The footage showed my living room, grainy, from a corner I couldn't place. I was in it, editing my hall video, oblivious. The camera lingered, then shifted to the hallway. A figure stood there, thin, hooded, holding a phone, filming me. The video ended with a whisper. Mara. My stomach lurched. Milo whimpered, his eyes fixed on the ceiling. I followed his gaze. The smoke detector's red light blinked, steady, unnatural. My breath stopped. A camera. I grabbed a chair, hands shaking, and climbed to rip the detector open. Inside, a tiny lens stared back, wired to a battery. My phone pinged, another email. Subject, he's next. A video loaded. Milo, asleep on his bed, filmed hours ago. A man's voice, low and raspy, murmured, "He's next." My vision blurred with tears. I smashed the camera, plastic splintering, but the hum didn't stop. Footsteps echoed outside, slow, deliberate, circling the balcony. I froze, knife in hand, waiting for the glass to shatter. The steps faded. Silence clawed at me. Headlights cut through the blinds. Jess's truck. I exhaled, but the relief curdled. She didn't get out. Her silhouette leaned against the window, unmoving. I whispered to the operator, "My friend's here, but something's wrong." The operator's voice sharpened. "Stay put. Police are close." I peered outside. Jess' truck door hung open, but she was gone. My phone vibrated. A text. "She's fine. For now." A photo followed. Jess slumped in a chair, wrists zip-tied, in a dim room with peeling paint. The footsteps returned, fainter, then stopped. Sirens wailed close now. I crawled to the door, Milo trembling beside me. Police flooded the apartment, their flashlights slicing the dark. They found Jess in her truck, dazed, a needle mark on her arm. No fingerprints, no tracks in the desert dust. The camera and the smoke detector was one of 3. Others hid in a lamp and the journal's spine. The police traced the emails to a ghost account, the texts to a burner. They asked about enemies, stalkers. I remembered a fan, Lensman92, who'd commented on every video, begging for replies. I'd ignored him, then blocked him after he sent a rant about being owed my attention. The cops nodded, jotting notes. Obsessed fans can escalate. The police theorized he'd posed as a maintenance worker. I'd seen a guy in a utility vest last month, fixing a leaky pipe while I waited for an Amazon delivery. He'd lingered, eyeing my packages, his smile too wide. The landlord confirmed no maintenance was scheduled. He'd walked through my home, planting cameras, learning my life. My skin crawled. I couldn't stay. I moved to Carson City, deleted my channel, and stopped opening emails. Milo flinches at footsteps. I jump at every ping, my fingers hovering over inboxes I dread. PTSD, the therapist called it. Sleepless nights, panic at cardboard boxes, the hum of electronics triggering nausea. Last week, an email slipped through my spam filter. Subject: new home Mara. No text, just a photo. My new kitchen, Milo's water bowl on the counter, a pen mine, resting beside it. The angle was high, like a smoke detector's view. I checked the ceiling. A red light blinked. It started, as these things often do, innocently enough. My 10-year-old son, Leo, was obsessed with Roblox. Like, really obsessed. It was his world, building, playing, chatting with school friends. I monitored it, of course. Set time limits, checked his friend list, had the talks about online safety. I thought I was doing everything right. We lived in a quiet suburb outside Portland, the kind of place where you worry more about scraped knees than online predators. How wrong I was. One drizzly Tuesday afternoon, Leo came downstairs from his room, tablet in hand, looking puzzled. "Dad," he asked, holding up the screen, "why are you using your other account to talk to me?" I frowned, putting down my coffee. "Other account?" "Leo, I only have the one account, the one we set up together so I could see your games. I haven't been on Roblox all day." He tilted his head, confused. "But Dad Plays 2 just sent me a message. See?" He showed me the screen. There it was, plain as day. A user named Dad Plays 2 had sent him a friend request, which Leo, assuming it was me trying out a new username, had accepted. The profile picture was generic, one of the default Roblox avatars. The message read, "Hey champ, saw you were online. Want to play Adopt Me later?" A cold trickle of unease started in my gut. "Leo," I said slowly, keeping my voice calm. "That's not me. I didn't make that account. I didn't send that message." His eyes widened slightly. "But it says Dad." "Anyone can name their account anything, buddy," I explained, the unease growing into genuine alarm. "Someone's pretending to be me. Unfriend them. Right now." He did, his fingers tapping quickly, a flicker of fear replacing the confusion on his face. I took the tablet, heart pounding. Who would do that? Why? I checked the profile. Brand new. 0 friends other than the brief connection with Leo. No game history. Anonymous. Predatory. The words screamed in my mind. That night, sleep didn't come easily. Every creak of the house sounded amplified. I kept picturing that username. Dad Plays 2. The casual intimacy of it. The calculated deception aimed directly at my son. I went into Leo's room, watched him sleep. The soft rise and fold of his chest, usually reassuring, now seeming terribly vulnerable. The rain outside tapped against the window pane with an irregular, unsettling rhythm. The next day, I reinforced the online safety rules with Leo, explaining why it was so important not to accept friend requests from strangers, even if they seemed familiar. He seemed to understand, subdued and less eager to jump online. I reported the account to Roblox, detailing the impersonation. I felt a small measure of control return. But 2 days later, Leo came to me again, looking pale. "Dad," he whispered, holding the tablet like it might bite him. "He's back." My blood ran cold. "Who's back, Leo?" The other dad." He showed me the screen. A new friend request. Username, Dad's best buddy. Generic avatar again. No message this time, just a silent request hanging there. It felt like a deliberate taunt. How did they find him again so quickly after I reported the first account? Were they watching his profile somehow? "Don't accept it, Leo. Don't touch anything." I took the tablet, fingers trembling slightly. This wasn't random. This felt targeted. I reported the new account immediately, adding details about the previous incident. I felt helpless, furious. This invisible stranger was intruding into our home, into my son's safe space, wearing my name like a disguise. I started digging. I spent hours online, researching online grooming tactics, looking for patterns, anything. I installed stricter parental control software that logged keystrokes and chat history on Leo's devices. It felt like a violation of his privacy, but the alternative felt unthinkable. The house felt different now. The glow from screens no longer seeming innocent. I kept imagining someone watching us through the webcam, listening through the microphone. The low hum of the computer seemed menacing. A few days passed uneventfully. Leo was worried online, sticking to games he could play solo. I started to relax, just a fraction. Maybe they'd given up. Maybe reporting them had worked. Then came the package, a small, plain brown box left on our doorstep. No return address. My name and address were handwritten in neat block letters. My wife, Sarah, brought it in, puzzled. "Did you order something, honey?" I hadn't. A knot of dread tightened in my stomach. I carefully sliced open the tape. Inside, nestled in tissue paper, was a single, brand new Roblox toy. A small plastic figure of one of the characters Leo often played as. Tucked underneath it was a folded piece of paper. My hands shook as I unfolded it. One sentence, printed in the same block letters as the address label. Thought Leo might like this. "See you online soon, Dad." I dropped the box as if it burned. This wasn't just online anymore. They knew where we lived. They had been here. The quiet suburban street outside suddenly felt exposed, hostile. Sarah saw my face, then looked at the toy and the note. Her expression shifted from confusion to horror. "Oh my God, Mark," she whispered, her voice trembling. "What is this? Who would do this?" She clung to me, her fear mirroring and amplifying my own. The rain started again, a soft, insistent drumming on the roof that sounded like footsteps pacing overhead. We called the police. An officer came, took a report, looked concerned but admitted there wasn't much they could do without a direct threat or more information. The package, the online accounts, creepy, deeply disturbing, but not technically illegal in a way they could easily act on. "Keep your doors locked. Stay vigilant. Report any further contact," was the advice. Useless. Sarah cried quietly that night, the fear for Leo's safety overwhelming her. That night, I couldn't stay in the house. After Sarah and Leo were asleep, or pretending to be, I sat in my parked car across the street, watching our house, watching the darkened windows, the empty street. Was someone else out here, watching too? Every passing car, every rustle of leaves in the wind, sent jolts of adrenaline through me. Hours crawled by. Just before dawn, exhausted and paranoid, I saw it. A dark sedan parked way down the block, lights off. It hadn't been there earlier. As I watched, straining my eyes in the pre-dawn gloom, the driver's side door opened slightly, just enough for someone to flick a cigarette butt onto the wet pavement. A tiny, glowing ember in the darkness. Then the door closed silently. The car didn't move. It just sat there, waiting, watching. My heart pounded. Should I drive closer? Call the police again? Before I could decide, I saw the figure in the driver's seat seem to turn their head, looking directly towards my parked car. Even at that distance in the dim light, I felt spotted, a cold gaze locking onto me through the windshield. Then the sedan's engine started softly, and it pulled away silently, disappearing around the corner without ever turning on its headlights. That brief, silent acknowledgement was more terrifying than a chase. We moved houses a few months later. Different town, different state. Leo rarely plays Roblox anymore. The police investigation went nowhere. The accounts vanished, the package untraceable. We never knew who Dad Plays 2 was, or why they targeted Leo. Was it someone local? Someone watching from afar? Someone with a twisted obsession, playing a long game? Sometimes late at night, I still find myself checking Leo's old Roblox account, scanning friend lists, looking for familiar avatars. The fear never completely goes away. It just changes shape. The knowledge that someone, somewhere, wore my name to get close to my son. That they knew where we lived. That they might still be out there. It's a haunting that doesn't need ghosts. It just needs a screen and a predator hiding behind a username. I never thought a single video would unravel my life. It started innocently enough. I uploaded a 3-minute TikTok titled, "My Creepy Stalker Story, Real Life, detailing my unsettling encounter at a gas station in Newark, New Jersey. In it, I recounted a late-night stop gone wrong, how a stranger approached, asked weirdly specific questions, stared uncomfortably, and followed me briefly before I sped away. Just a creepy experience. Nothing special, right? But the video exploded overnight, racking up millions of views. Comments flooded in, some empathetic, others skeptical. But the engagement thrilled me. For a day or two, it was exciting. I felt validated. Then everything changed. It began subtly. A comment from an anonymous account that made my heart stop. Nice story. You blurred the street signs, but I found you anyway. Got you. My breath caught. It was probably just a troll, but anxiety crawled under my skin like insects. I'd intentionally blurred landmarks. There was no way anyone could find me. Right. That night, lying in bed, I couldn't shake an unsettling sensation. I pulled the covers tighter, staring into the darkness. Every creak of the old apartment, every distant car alarm made my pulse quicken. The next morning, a package appeared on my doorstep. Unmarked, no address, hands shaking. I tore open the cardboard flap. Inside was a crumpled note and a single printed screenshot. My blurred TikTok background now eerily clear, with street names visible, circled in bold red marker. The note read simply, "See? Found you." My heart hammered. Panic surged through my chest. Was this the stranger from the gas station? How had he tracked me down? I called my best friend, Emily, frantic. She arrived quickly, disbelief evident until she saw the note herself. "You need to call the police, Kara," she urged. "This isn't normal." Officers arrived later that afternoon. They took my report, promising to investigate. Detective Walsh, a middle-aged cop with tired eyes, did his best to reassure me. "It's probably just some internet troll trying to scare you. We'll look into it." But his words did little to ease the tight knot in my stomach. Days passed in anxious silence, but the fear only intensified. Messages appeared regularly in my inbox now. Always anonymous taunting. "Still watching. Did you sleep well last night? I see you." Every notification twisted my stomach tighter, my sense of safety eroding rapidly. I stopped leaving the apartment alone, terrified of shadows, obsessively locking doors and windows. But the nightmare was only beginning. Late one evening, alone after Emily reluctantly headed home, I stood in my dim kitchen, making tea to calm nerves that wouldn't settle. Outside, wind whipped tree branches violently, scratching harshly at the window pane. Suddenly, the room plunged into darkness. Power outage. My pulse quickened instantly. I fumbled for my phone, hands shaking, flashlight beam slicing nervously through the blackness. Outside the window, a shape moved, just briefly, but unmistakably human. A faint tapping noise started softly, rhythmic, taunting, from the sliding glass door. Terror seized my throat. Toward the flashlight beam. But a crumpled envelope lay on the doorstep. Barely breathing, I slid open the door just enough to snatch the envelope. Inside, another screenshot. This one from moments ago, taken through my own kitchen window. Me, in darkness, holding my phone, panic on my face. Below the image, scrawled roughly, "Nice tea. I prefer coffee." I spun wildly, heart slamming. Where was he hiding? Was he inside already? Every shadow seemed alive. Every creak was his footsteps approaching. Desperate, I called Detective Walsh, barely coherent. "He's here right now." He took photos. "We're on our way. Lock everything," Walsh snapped urgently. Minutes felt endless. Then a soft scraping noise, metal against glass. I turned, horror flooding my veins. The patio door was sliding open, inch by inch. I'd forgotten to relock it. A dark silhouette emerged slowly, stepping calmly into my kitchen. My flashlight trembled violently in my grip, illuminating a face I'd hoped never to see again. The man from the gas station. Hollow eyes, thin lips twisted in a cold smirk. "You," I gasped weakly. "Did you miss me, Kara?" he whispered mockingly, stepping forward. "Stay back." My voice cracked pathetically. "Why are you doing this?" His smile widened grotesquely. "Because you made me famous. Millions watched your video judging me, calling me names, all because you couldn't keep quiet. I backed away, bumping clumsily into the countertop. Please, just leave. I can't, he growled softly. You started this, Kara. Now I'm finishing it. From his pocket, he slowly withdrew a switchblade, metal glinting ominously. My body froze. Breath trapped painfully in my chest. He stepped closer, the blade gleaming inches from my throat. You'll never feel safe again. Not anywhere. Not ever. Suddenly, headlights swept harshly through the window. Sirens blared loudly. Tires screeched. His eyes darted toward the front door, panic flashing briefly. Then he leaned close, breath hot and rancid. This isn't over, he hissed, vanishing into darkness seconds before officers burst into my apartment. Detective Walsh found me trembling, crying uncontrollably. Officers searched thoroughly, finding no trace of him beyond muddy footprints on the patio and the discarded photograph. Days turned into weeks. The stalker, later identified as Jared Collins, a man with prior assault convictions, remained elusive. Walsh's words echoed coldly. Collins fixates. He believes you ruined his life, humiliated him online. He's unstable, dangerous. Be careful. My viral TikTok became a cautionary tale. I deleted my accounts, changed apartments, started therapy. Still, Collins haunted me. Always in the background, a constant shadow over my shoulder. Months passed and gradually, cautious normalcy returned. Walsh assured me Collins had fled the state. Finally, peace seemed possible. Then, late one stormy evening, my phone buzzed softly with a single notification. An anonymous TikTok account tagged me in a new video. Shaking uncontrollably, I clicked. A grainy, darkened clip played silently. A familiar building, my current apartment complex. Zooming slowly toward my bedroom window, blinds drawn shut. The video ended abruptly, replaced by two chilling words. Got you. My breath seized, world spinning. Somewhere outside, thunder rumbled like mocking laughter. Collins hadn't disappeared. He'd merely waited patiently, watching from shadows, biding his time. The swamp-cooled air conditioner groaned as I angled my phone toward the peeling floral wallpaper. Welcome to another abandoned South live stream. I forced cheer into my voice. Same as I'd forced myself to stay in my great-aunt's rotting Victorian on the edge of Louisiana's Atchafalaya Basin. Tonight we're exploring. A comment from a Swamp Watcher. Who's behind you? I froze. 3 viewers total. My regulars at History Buff and at Bayou Babe, plus this new account. The green ring light reflected off the moth-eaten sofa behind me. Empty. Nice try, troll, I laughed. Too shrill. But I'm alone in, at Swamp Watcher, left shoulder now. The shadow moved with me as I turned. A human silhouette dissolving into the hallway's gloom. My phone clattered onto the dusty table. Live stream still running. As I fumbled for the hunting knife I kept strapped to my ankle. Nothing but warped floorboards. A draft from the boarded-up fireplace. At Swamp Watcher commented after I ended the stream. Check the replay. The VOD showed it clearly. A man in a dark hoodie stepping into frame behind me. Gloved hand half raised. I froze the video. The apron wasn't a butcher's. It was oil-stained denim. Exactly like the one Mr. Thibodeau, my landlord, wore while fixing the porch last week. His boots had left red clay streaks on my kitchen floor that morning. Got kits with drones. Detective Broussard said, wiping sweat from his neck as he eyed the house. Happens all. His radio crackled. Remains found near Bayou Black. Male. Dismembered. He left fast. That night, I found the hole. A crawl space behind the attic wallpaper, barely big enough for a person. Inside, rusted shackles bolted to the beams. A Polaroid of Aunt Lila, eyes wide, dated 1973, and a stack of tax documents showing Thibodeau's family had never owned this land. My aunt did. At Swamp Watcher demed me at 3:17 a.m. You look sweeter sleeping than she did. Attached was a photo of me in bed, taken from the hole in the wall. Thibodeau boots were on my porch at dawn. Heard you had break-in trouble, Cher. His breath smelled of cigars and decay. Need me to check the locks? The knife trembled in my hand behind the door. I'm good. He left a gift. A new deadbolt installed while I'd slept. That's when I found the second crawl space, under the floorboards, directly below my bed. Last stream, I whispered, setting up in the attic where the shackles hung. Rotting lace curtains, a child's doll missing its eyes. Perfect for views. That swamp watcher commented first. Cold up there. It was freezing. The doll's head turned with a plastic click as I adjusted the camera. Just drafts, I stammered. Shut, exploded. PVF moved. As a thump sounded from the crawl space. I aimed the phone. A boot, then a hand. Thibodeau's face emerged, grinning, a rusted cleaver in his grip. Miss me, chair. The VOD later showed what viewers couldn't see. The attic door I'd chained shut swinging open. The doll's hollow eyes reflecting Thibodeau's silhouette as he lunged. Detective Broussard found the blood first. Mine on the cleaver, Thibodeau in the crawl space, where I'd stabbed him with the knife before escaping through the attic window. Turns out your aunt's natural causes death was strychnine, Broussard said, flipping through Thibodeau's ledger. He's been squatting in these biohouses for decades, killing owners who discovered he forged deeds. But the ledger entries didn't stop at 1973. I stream from a Miami high-rise now. No crawl spaces, no drafts. Last night, that swamp watcher commented on my new video. We left the door open. The VOD shows it. My balcony door swaying, a shadowed boot print on the rail, and far in the background, barely visible through the sliding glass, a denim apron hanging in my dark closet. It wasn't there when I left. The first thing I noticed when I moved in with Avery was her ring light. A perfect circle reflected in her pupils as she danced, lip-synced, and performed for her phone, propped against a stack of books. Our Austin apartment became her stage. The kitchen counter, her makeup table. Our living room, her dance floor. She wasn't TikTok famous, but with 20K followers, she was closer than most. Just wait, she'd say, applying another layer of contour. One viral video and we're upgrading to a place with central air. Texas summers made our window units work overtime, dripping condensation that stained the exterior brick. I didn't understand the appeal, but I respected her hustle until the video that changed everything. It was a dance trend, nothing special. Avery in ripped jeans and a cropped out hoodie, moving with practiced precision. She'd spent 3 hours getting it right, sweat beading along her hairline despite the AC blasting. When she finally posted it, she refreshed constantly, watching the views tick up. Then they stopped. Just 212 views. 7 likes. 2 comments. Algorithms glitching, she muttered, deleting and reposting. The results were worse. 98 views, no comments. That night, I heard her pacing, her bedroom floorboards creaking rhythmically. The next morning, dark circles hung beneath her eyes as she scrolled through videos of teenage girls doing the same dance, racking up millions of views. What do they have that I don't? Her voice cracked. I noticed her fingernails were bitten raw, tiny crescents of blood on her cuticles. The following week, Avery's posting schedule intensified. Every trend, every sound, she tried them all. She bought new ring lights, a better phone, expensive editing software. Nothing worked. Her following started dropping. 19.8K, 19.2, 18.5K. I came home one evening to find her filming in the bathroom, the shower running behind her. What are you doing? I asked. Engagement experiment, she answered, not looking away from her reflection. Studies show content creators who display vulnerability get higher engagement. The video showed her crying, mascara streaming down her cheeks, as she whispered about her creator burnout. It got 78 views. Her room became a fortress of analytics printouts and competitor screenshots. Post-it notes covered her mirror with timestamps for optimal posting. 3 a.m., 5 a.m., during lunch breaks, middle of the night. People love watching others spiral. She told me over coffee she wasn't drinking. Her collarbones jutted sharply beneath her tank top. The breakdown video is the ultimate currency. When her boss called asking why she'd missed 3 shifts, I lied and said she had food poisoning. In reality, she was in her room, filming take after take of increasingly desperate content. One night, I woke to find her standing in my doorway, her face illuminated by her phone's blue glow. I jerked upright, heart pounding. Jesus, Avery, what are you doing? She didn't seem to register my alarm. Did you know disappearance videos are trending? Not actual disappearances, simulated ones. Her voice sounded hollow, distant. They get millions of views. Some even make national news. You're scaring me, I said, reaching for my bedside lamp. Don't, she whispered, stopping me. The lighting is perfect right now. I realized she was recording. If I disappear, she continued, her voice taking on a performative quality, my views will explode. Everyone loves a mystery. The next morning, I found Avery's bedroom door wide open, unusual for her new secretive habits. Her bed was made, untouched. Her phone sat on her pillow, propped against the headboard, the red recording light blinking steadily. The live stream had been running for 6 hours, according to the counter. The comment section was filling with confusion, then concern, then excitement. Where is she? Is this performance art? Someone call the police? This is going viral. Tank watching, 15 to 20K. The views were climbing by the thousands each minute. Avery was nowhere in the frame. I called her name, checked the bathroom, the kitchen. No response. Her car keys hung on the hook by the door. Her wallet sat on the counter. The front door was locked from the inside. The live stream comments exploded when I entered the frame, calling her name. People thought it was planned, part of the performance. It wasn't until I moved the phone that I saw it. A small notebook beneath her pillow. Inside, in her meticulous handwriting, Day 1, disappear. Leave phone streaming. Day 2, no contact. Day 3, roommate reports missing. Day 4, local news pickup. Day 7, national coverage. Day 14, return, film comeback. Estimate 5 views minimum. My hands trembled as I flipped the page. Location, storage unit #217, Northwest Austin. Supplies for 2 weeks. Emergency exit plan if views don't materialize. I called the number on the rental agreement taped to the next page. When the manager finally opened unit #217, we found it empty except for protein bar wrappers, water bottles, and a sleeping bag, and a new note, Plan B activated. If engagement metrics remain below projections, escalation required. Remember, they love a tragedy more than a mystery. Her live stream hit 1 million viewers when police found her car abandoned at Lake Travis. By the time dive teams searched the water, she was trending nationwide. 3 days later, a security camera caught her entering a motel using a fake ID. When police brought her in, she wasn't angry or embarrassed, just disappointed. The analytics were promising, she told the detective, but retention dropped after day 4. People moved on to a dancing cat. They released her with mandatory counseling. TikTok banned her account for violating community guidelines. She moved out a week later. I helped her load boxes into her parents' car. As they drove away, my phone buzzed with a notification from a new account. At the Revelry, her first video showed her sitting in a darkened room, eyes wide, speaking barely above a whisper. What I'm about to share isn't for views or follows. It's a warning. My former roommate is dangerous. She's the one who locked me in that storage unit. And I have proof. The video already had 100K views. As I stared at the screen in disbelief, another notification appeared. A text from Avery's new number. Nothing personal. But a redemption arc gets even better engagement than a disappearance. My phone keeps ringing with calls from reporters. My social accounts flood with hate messages from her supporters. And somewhere in Texas, Avery is finally getting the views she always wanted. You've seen the filters, heard the sounds, but now you know what's really behind the ring lights. Which story still echoes in your head? Drop it in the comments. We're watching. And if you're seeing strange notifications after this, don't open them. This is dark, real horror. Subscribe and come back next week, because some accounts don't go inactive. They reappear. And next time, the upload might be you.